Welcome, haters. 5 Tesla ripoffs.
It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Let me talk to you really about ripoffs. My first ripoff, this one breaks my heart.
Whoa, those are Consumer Reports magazines.
I know. You know why you're whoa-woing?
Because we love us some Consumer Reports.
Multiple decades of Consumer Reports support. But you know what the problem is? Consumer Reports doesn't like my Tesla Model 3. They've tried to derail this thing several times. First, the brakes. Remember all the hoopla we had about the brakes?
Yeah.
Tesla got the last laugh on that one. Here's the thing. When they did that Tesla brake thing, I want to know, when all the testing, I've tried to read, can't figure it out, did they treat this Tesla Model 3 the same way they treat all other cars that they run through their brake system? Because this car isn't like all other cars. We have what's called regenerative braking. So if they shut that off, that's a rip-off. When you did the braking on the Tesla, the Model 3 the first time, I come from an accounting background, so I know how things go. Did we just
like
do
brakes.
it? No, you'll see my point. Did you just do what they did on every other car or last year? Because when you do audit, a lot of times you'll ask the audit manager, you got a noob with you that's, kind of doing the grunt work. And the audit manager will just go do what they did last year.
Okay.
You just go look at last year's work and just do it. I think that's what Consumer Reports did with the braking. Go find the guy that fixes your toner on your printer or installs your scanner driver and let them drive the Tesla Model 3 and see if they get it and they get the intuitive products, because otherwise it's a big rip-off the way you're out there selling and telling people this is not a world-class car that's changing the way we drive and experience, motor vehicles. The second thing Consumer Reports picks on Tesla about is the fact that they say it's too hard to adjust the mirrors. It's too hard to make all these settings because you have one access point to a lot of your controls. They want you to have 36,000 buttons to push that collect dust and cause trouble. In an old school way, more buttons, more exciting, more luxury, more expensive. But in Tesla terms, it's a ripoff. Because here's the truth of the matter. This thing's intuitive. I know a lot about being intuitive, anticipating. I learned it from my father. My father was a shade tree mechanic, put all the brakes on all my neighbors' cars and everything else. And he used to yell at me when I'd sit there and watch it and be like, son, anticipate. He'd say, anticipate the tools I need. And I learned, you got to be intuitive. You got to think about what needs to be going on. This Tesla does that. You set it up once. You set up your mirrors. You set up all, the way you want your seat position, the way you want, when you're driving experience. And it does it all for you because it's intuitive. You don't have to keep setting up new things. And here's a cool thing, and I've talked about this in other videos, but Consumer Reports didn't catch on. They give you unlimited memory settings. I mean, you really can set up, as you can see, I have a GoPro one, I have a back seat one, I have people, I have easy entry, I have Brian, I have my wife. I mean, when my daughter gets 16, we'll probably have her on here too, and I'm not even gonna be upset about it. Tesla has set this car up where it knows what I need based upon the settings, and it rolls forward and it anticipates. So you set it up once, you forget it because it's going to do the rest for you by anticipating and being intuitive. If I would have taken Consumer Reports advice when I was helping my father, I would have rolled the toolbox next to my dad and said, Dad, you can anticipate because there's a whole thing full of wrenches here. That's not what you need. You need something that actually tries to think and anticipate what the next step is.
Fair enough.
So number 2, do y'all realize, how does news media get paid?
Advertisements.
That's
They
right.
sell advertising.
They need eyeballs, they need clicks, they need you reading the ads on there, and that's how they get paid. So every time I turn on the TV or read the newspaper about Tesla, is it good? Are they talking about world class? Are they talking about all the good stuff that's going on with Tesla? No, they're telling me that every, 3 weeks when somebody has an accident in a Tesla, it's front page news. Mm-hmm. Even though we have thousands of accidents every day on our roads, it's just an unfortunate thing that happens. It's a ripoff because the modern media mainstream media, I think that they're not being honest with us. They have a conflict of interest. They have a bias that they're not telling us about. And that big elephant in the room is the fact that they get paid by the very people that this car is going to ruin. And that's the fact. That's the ripoff. And the fact that they have a conflict of interest, and the fact that they get billions, with a B, billions of dollars from local car dealerships, auto manufacturers, big oil.
Yeah.
All those things are at risk with what's going on with this Tesla. So they have a conflict of interest, and they're not telling you the truth about your car. It's a ripoff. Number 3, legacy auto manufacturers. Oh my God, guys. This one ticks me off because I bought another car recently. And you know, a year ago this wouldn't have bothered me because you had me trained. I was wrong. I'm woke now. Took the red pill.
I'm woke. You just said I'm woke.
No, you hear me out because this is legit. I'm really mad about this. And the fact that I bought a new car and they advertised it had Google Maps on it. This is before this Tesla. I drove this car, my wife did, for 3 months.
Okay.
One day I come in, Google Maps is gone. I'm like, what happened to Google Maps? What happened to traffic? You know, because it had traffic on there too. I gotta subscribe. Start getting emails. They want me to get a few $100s out of me every year. You get newer maps, better maps. They want a few $100s a year, so I get Google Maps and traffic. Now, I mean, this thing looks like I went back to 1986 graphics on the. This is an expensive car for my wife. That's wrong. That's a ripoff. Why is legacy manufacturer make me do a subscription? And then think about this. Every time there's an upgrade, it's just a software upgrade with legacy auto manufacturers, they make you go buy a brand new car. Why? Why? You got all the hardware. You got 4 wheels. You got all the electronics. You got computers. Just give me the software for free. I gave you thousands of dollars. It's a ripoff. That one really gets me upset because you're talking about my family's safety, and you're not going to give me that upgrade for free? Tesla does that. I mean, I got an upgrade last night. I've gotten 3 upgrades in the last 3 weeks. It's free. Over the air. That's it. This car gets better. I told you. When you talk about autopilot, this car, when I talk, like my wife's car has, you know, some of those automation features help you on the interstate.
Control and that sort of thing.
It's like having a 6-year-old sit on your lap and drive. You know,
Right.
I know that's not correct now, not safe. Back when I was a kid, you could do that stuff. So it's like a 6-year-old. This Tesla, when I bought it, it was an 11-year-old.
Okay.
A little heavy, a little uncomfortable on my lap. Now it's 13-year-old. It's getting awkward. This thing's gonna be driving on its own in no time. You be out of the house, costing me a pain in the wallet in college. But that's all right. It's not a ripoff. Legacy auto manufacturers, you need to understand, we deserve, when we spend thousands of dollars, you should update our maps. That's safe. I need to know where roads are. Why are you gonna charge me hundreds of dollars a year to get the new maps? That's ridiculous. Before I close past that point, because that's safety.
Hold on, he's not done. He's not done.
General Motors, EV1. You came up with the first electric car. You have to feel horrible that you came up with this idea. It gave people a taste of what an electric motor can do from an acceleration as well as efficiency standpoint. And then when you're like, uh-oh, can't get that genie. We got to get these things back. You took them down, took them away. You know that's what started this thing, planted this seed with Tesla. Bet you wish you could get that one back. Rip off. Number 4, big oil. Big oil. I'm going easy on you because things are changing. I get it. You know, you've had over 100 years now where you were the dominant source. Oil in general, whether you're providing light, heat, fuel for all the engines out there, you've dominated. Built a lot of wealth, done well. But here's the thing. Things are changing. And what I don't like is that the electric motor, the range on the electric motor hasn't changed for 100 years, over 100 years. 1899, electric motor could go about the same distance it could go in the year 2000.
Huh.
Why? I'll tell you why. There was no incentive to innovate. Because every time some new invention would come out there, if it was jeopardize, you know, the legacy auto manufacturers,
Or big oil companies.
jeopardize oil manufacturers, they buy it, Kill it. Rip off. That's not appropriate. I'm just telling you, things are changing. Tesla, and it all changed with this. We love our smartphones. And when these smartphones got unleashed, they needed more battery power. Innovation started occurring. Batteries got better, charge faster, a little more consistent. All of a sudden that range on that electric car, and Tesla came out and was like, boom, had the roadster. And instead of going 40 miles, this thing was going hundreds of miles. I'm telling you guys, things are changing. Big oil, rip off. And the fact that you gotta let innovation just do its natural course. Things are changing. Lastly, Tesla haters.
Oh.
There's a lot of you. And look, I get it. I told you, news media everywhere. You got your legacy auto manufacturers. And I think some of this is what's going on with Consumer Reports. It's easy to be like everybody else. I mean, it is. We're built from an emotional, behavioral standpoint. We want to blend in. I've got a teenager in the house. I know what that looks like. She just wants to blend in. When you stand out, you draw attention, and you put a bullseye, an arrow on your back. And so we create a lot of haters. So a lot of you guys are hating on you. You'll leave me some troll comments. I know they're coming. They're coming right down there. There's going to be some troll comments. And you've never test driven a Tesla. Because this is the thing, guys. Go sit in one of these cars. Actually experience one of these cars. Go to a Tesla service center. They're all over the country. If you don't have a service center, just go to a supercharger. Where people are fueling up their Teslas, and talk to an owner, and they'll let you sit in it. We're pretty friendly people. We don't bite. In spite of me yelling rip off every so often on this show, I'm actually a pretty friendly guy. And if you see me around Franklin, Tennessee, I'll talk to you all about this car. Happens all the time. I'm an unpaid diplomat for the Tesla Model 3. And so I tell you that you really talk to these people. If you test drive one of these cars, you're going to see it's revolutionary. I hesitated in our first Tesla videos to tell people what I really thought about this car, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't just the honeymoon phase of just being in love with the experience. I've driven this car for over 6 months now. Best car I've ever owned. So when I talk to my Tesla haters who are out there, I want you, and anybody else who's listening to the Tesla haters, here's my challenge to you in addition to test driving a Tesla. I want you to think about, do you hear any Tesla owners complaining about their Tesla? Do you hear any of them going out there and saying this thing is a ripoff? You don't. And there's a reason for that, guys. This car costs a decent chunk of money, and yet nobody is telling you what a ripoff it is. That speaks volumes. And believe me, I own cameras. I own multiple cameras, as you can see. We own microphones. We own lights. If this thing was a ripoff, I'd be the first to tell you this thing's a ripoff. I know value, and this thing's not a ripoff. So all my Tesla haters, get out there, get to the service center, test drive this thing, talk to people. Let's all go along to get along and be happy and embrace the innovation that's coming by having this magical vehicle, the Tesla Model 3. So you're going to find people who are just friendly and passionate about this car. So go try it out, haters. And I think you're going to find out you've been sold a whole line of bull, and it's been a big ripoff.
If you haven't had a chance to check out our other Tesla videos, check them out. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to our page, subscribe. We also do personal finance videos where we try to help you go beyond common sense with your finances. If you want to know more.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if you want to know more, go to moneyguy.com, and we're going to help you not get ripped off.